welcome back to The Reason for the Season, a podcast we are doing regarding the birth of Christ and all his prophecies. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the promise of Immanuel, the promise of Immanuel, God with us. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 7, Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 14, Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, and it tells us this: Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Immanuel. That is to say, God with us. Guys, we're talking about the old catchphrase, Jesus is the reason for the season. And I'm not mocking it, please don't misunderstand me. But I've always wondered, what did that really mean? You know, what does it really mean by Jesus, the reason for the season? Now, I know it meant that Christmas, it wasn't about commercialism, but it was about Christ. And so today, guys, I want to talk about one of the special promises that God made us. Our last episode, we talked about, I will put enmity. If you get a chance, go by and listen to it. I will put enmity between thee and thy seed. And what he's talking about is the promise of the salvation plan. And one of the things we need to understand is that before that, there was no salvation. There was no need for it because Adam and Eve were created perfect. There was no sin in them. But when man fell, now we had to go, I guess you would say, to plan B, and that is to say, we had to have salvation. We needed redemption. We needed to be redeemed and be brought back to the image of God. And so we look at Isaiah, how God is planning to do this salvation plan. Remember, he promised them, he says, hey, the woman's seed is going to stomp your head, Satan. He's going to stomp your head, and he is going to defeat you. And of course, he doesn't tell him how, and he doesn't tell the woman or anybody how, but we see it point to the cross. In Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, it tells us again this: Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Immanuel. Isaiah presents a prophetic sign of hope, declaring that a virgin will conceive and bear a son named Immanuel, which means God is with us. This assures believers that God's presence remains with his people even during periods of distress and uncertainty. Christians are encouraged to remember that steadfast assurance of God's presence in their lives, particularly in challenging moments marked by uncertainty or fear. Trusting in God's promises means knowing he is always present, offering comfort and strength during times of struggle. The ongoing reality of Immanuel. The prophecy of Immanuel is not limited to a historical event. It is a continuing reality for believers today. It highlights the importance of Jesus' incarnation, showing how he fulfills this prophecy and assures us of God's unwavering love and presence in our daily lives. Fulfillment in Jesus Christ. Immanuel points directly to Jesus Christ, the fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies. His birth signifies God's enduring commitment to be present with his people. This presence is ultimately realized in the redemptive work of Christ on the cross, which provides believers with the Holy Spirit to dwell within them. Hope and strength through trials. In the midst of life's trials, God's promise to be with us through Jesus Christ, the true Immanuel, brings hope and strength, the assurance of divine presence, and grants believers peace and resilience even when circumstances are uncertain. Promises fulfilled in presence. The name Immanuel signifies that God is with us. In uncertain times, this promise of divine presence becomes a source of strength and peace for all who believe. Highlighting Jesus' birth as the prophecy fulfillment encourages believers to view their struggles alongside God's presence, connecting Christ's ministry with his ongoing promise of companionship. Wow, what a blessing, my friend, to know that God is always with me, always with you. No matter how bad things get, God will never leave you nor forsake you. My friend, until next time on The Reason for the Season, be blessed.